You've spoken a lot about democracy, and I would just like to point to the accusations of human rights abuses in terms of the elimination of your political opponents or the oppression of the press, and I would just like to hear your comments towards that.
It's always difficult to accuse me of anything and then say, prove yourself innocent. I think I want to turn it to you and say, prove me guilty. That's where the problem lies. You know, the press or human rights groups, or what they say about me personally or about Rwanda, when you are in Rwanda and are dealing with these decent human beings also in Rwanda, and they tell you their own stories, you won't trace even 0.001% of what they're talking about. Okay. The real life there is completely different from what the young girl is talking about. Absolutely different. But people will stay here, will be here in the US and wherever, and they've never even been to Rwanda, they've never met Rwandans. The real Rwandans, they are there. Rwandans are there. The real people of Rwanda who are no different from you, what you aspire to be, to have, to do, they are no different. But it's as if Rwanda is treated like a botanical garden where you just go and water flowers and, you know, no, human beings like anyone in this room. Absolutely. So these so-called human, don't know what. I tell you, half of my life, I've been living in the trenches, not sure of living to the next day. I didn't fight to be the president of my country. Never. It came by accident, I think. So I was fighting for my own rights, which anyone in any human rights organization could not give me. And even now cannot give me or cannot give Rwandans. So it's cynical and absurd that anyone would just be there talking about violations, you know, me as the leader of my own people to be accused of violating their rights. It's just an absurd insult. But my answer is simple, is to do my best to serve my people the best way they can be served.
If there is one thing that is very common with Western press, and something that I think is high time they just move on, right? They just stop it, is this whole idea of thinking that African leaders are authoritarian, are tyranns, and they are human rights violators, that they violate human rights of their people, the human rights of their people. It's always one-sided, you know. It's always like Africans are bad, Europeans are good, you know. Whenever you see a Western press asking an African leader a question, this one question must come in. There have been allegations of human rights violations in your country that might or might not have been committed by you. What do you have to say about that? This question must always be there. And if there's one leader who has answered this kind of question like all the time, it's no other than Paul Kagame of Rwanda. He is someone who I like. He is someone who I think that is doing a great job for the people in Rwanda. He is someone who I think that will transform Uganda. And he is someone who has been asked this same question like a million times. Hello, Mr. President. There have been allegations of human rights violations in your country that might or might not have been done by you. What do you have to say about that? But no one has bothered to ask George Bush about all the human rights violations he did in Iraq and Afghanistan. No one has asked Obama about all the things he did in Syria, in Yemen, and in Libya. No one has asked them about that. I have watched Barack Obama doing interviews, doing talks, doing speeches, and no one has asked him, sir, when are you going to account for what you did in Libya? Or don't you think you should have some accountability for what you did in Yemen and Syria? No one is asking them about this. No one. I have always said that if all these atrocities that the American leaders have done were committed or were carried out by an African leader, do you know where that leader would have been right now? Do you think that that leader would have been in Africa sleeping on his bed? No, I don't think so. Because people who did far more lesser than what was done in Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, and Libya are in The Hague. Many of those African leaders. You have like Charles Taylor of Liberia. They are all in The Hague. They did far more lesser than what Bush did in Iraq. But they are in The Hague, serving prison sentence. But no one is talking about Bush on atrocities in Iraq. No, it's in the past. Let's just let it go. Or what Obama did in Libya. No. That one, according to them, it was legitimate. It had to be carried out. Yeah, it had to be done. According to them, it had to be done. So no one is talking anything about it. But when they meet Paul Kagame, that is when they want to talk about human rights violations in Rwanda. So I think it's high time that Africa get to tell their own story. I think it's high time that all of us, the Africans, collectively start speaking out. I think it's high time that we start pushing back on this narrative that dictators or people who commit terrible things are only in Africa. I am not appreciating people who commit terrible things. I am not condoning their actions. I am not saying they should do it. Neither am I saying what they've done is appropriate. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is atrocities or human rights violations are not only committed by African leaders. There are leaders from all over the world who commit atrocities. And the Western press should hold all of them accountable for. That's just what I'm saying. That everything looks so one-sided when only African leaders are being attacked for committing human rights violations, while European leaders or American leaders go scot-free. That is my problem. That is my problem. And I know that we Africans have always been treated as second-class citizens. And I know we Africans have never been treated as equals. And I know that since from the Berlin Conference of 1884, when Africa was carved out into little pieces, they have all thought of Africa and Africans as nobody. But this has to change. We are in the 21st century. This must change. Change must come. I urge all Africans to start speaking out. Remember, knowledge is power. Information is the key. I will say this again. Knowledge is power. Information is the key. So to you guys out there, let us know your thoughts and opinions on this whole story. Why do the Western press keep on bothering President Paul Kagame of Rwanda with these so-called human rights violation claims? Don't you think that it's high time we passed that already? If we are supposed to be talking about it, let's say, for example, we want it to be corrected, we want things to go the right way, shouldn't we be also talking about what Bush did, what Obama did, what Hillary Clinton did? Didn't those people also commit a lot of issues, a lot of horrible things? Let us know in the comment section below, because like always, we love hearing what you have to say. And also, please don't forget to like this video, share this video, follow our Facebook page, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel, because little bit of good way, like the one you're doing just now, help us a lot. We shall forever be grateful to you. So thank you very much for doing just that. And like always, see you in the next one.